Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem of Costa Rica, followed by the national anthem of Japan. The referee for today's match is Timothy Ford, assisted by Sean Regan and Walter Heatherly. The fourth official is David Erbacher.
Welcome to match day 2 at the U-20 National Training Center Invitational, where Japan and Costa Rica are getting set to square off. Japan taking their team photo coming off of a 0-0 draw on match day 1 against Panama, a game that they dominated, out-shooting Panama 10-8, had their chances to score, but were unable to take them. Come up against the Costa Rica squad that lost on day 1 2-0 to the USA. So both teams looking for their first win of the tournament here and a chance to stay in the tournament. This is the second of 3 games for each team in this tournament. Coming up later tonight, the USA will square off against Panama. Both teams getting set for their respective regional championships, which will determine who will go through to the 2017 U-20 World Cup in South Korea next summer. Japan's coming up right around the corner as they will head to Bahrain for the U-19 AFC Championships, where they will face off against Iran, Yemen, and Qatar. Have to win their group in order to be one of the 4 teams that advances to the U-20 World Cup, as they are looking to go to that stage for the first time since 2007. Costa Rica will host the U-20 CONCACAF Championships in February. They're looking to get to their first World Cup since 2011. Plenty of these players, though, have World Cup experience for Costa Rica at the under-17 age group, where last summer they went to the quarterfinals. Shocked France in a shootout in the second round, but then lost to Belgium 1-0 in the last 8. But looking for their first victory here, Japan. Their last 2 games have been 0-0 draws, so they're looking to get on the score sheet. As we are underway, it's the Blue Samurai wearing their all-white kits attacking to your right. Los Ticos in their traditional red jerseys with blue shorts and red socks are attacking to your left. Both teams looking for their first goal of the tournament. And Takagi had it shielded out of bounds, so it's going to be a goal kick. Went off of Costa Rica last, off of Kevin Espinosa, so it's going to be a corner. First of the game for Japan, comes inside the first minute. So can they fashion their first goal of the tournament off of a set piece? Kubota will take the corner. 4 players getting ready to crash the box, and a fifth's already in there. And electing to punch is Barrientos, and it's a big mistake as it's smashed home. What a strike that was from Yoichi Naganuma. Inside the first minute and 15 seconds, and Japan have a 1-0 lead. Well, that's why you leave a player hovering around the top of the box. Keeper electing to punch. And perfect technique on that strike from Naganuma. And after 5 halves without scoring, going back to the Panda Cup in China last month, Japan are finally back in the goal column. And the bad news for this Costa Rican side is this is a Japan squad that has only given up 1 goal in its last 4 games.
In the second minute by number 21, Yoichi Naganuma.
Japan hasn't conceded a goal since June 17th in its 2-1 win over the Czech Republic in China, as they won the Panda Cup for the 2nd year running. And they're looking for more early on. Costa Rica playing a 4-4-2. Japan looking to play direct. One back by Esteban Gonzalez, wearing the captain's armband for Costa Rica. Gonzalez, one of the many players who played on that U-17 World Cup squad. Plays his club ball for Saprissa. And while you have plenty of players that played on that U-17 World Cup team for Costa Rica, there are 8 new players that have been incorporated into this camp for Los Ticos. It's Marcelo Herrera saying one of the big objectives of this tournament is getting everyone playing time and seeing if any of these 8 new players can break into the squad. But it's been all Japan early on. Herrera said he liked the intensity against the U.S., but he was worried about the individual errors that led to the goals. And here's one as well. He looked to be all alone, Barrientos, but instead he punted it and was way out of goal, but Naganuma still had it all to do. But once again, it's an error to concern the Costa Rica head coach. You can see at the bottom right of your screen at the edge of his technical area. Watching his side still on the back foot as we're in the 5th minute of play. And Gonzalez played it out wide, but there's nobody there, so Japan are going to get the ball back. Throwing in the deepest part of the offensive end. Feverish work from Tanaki, but he has the ball taken off of his foot. Ichimaru brings it down. Missed the first game through injury. Tried to tell his coach, Atsushi Uchiyama, that he was fine, but he said, no, we're not going to risk it. Rested him against Panama, and now he gets the captain aside here against Costa Rica. It's the long ball looking for the target man in Yuto Iwasaki. It's a Costa Rican side that, despite being under pressure, will not panic. Over half of their players already play in the Costa Rican top flight with the senior teams rather than playing with the reserves or the U-20s or U-18s. But this is Kubota to go the other way for Japan. Takagi. Nice little skip past Loria. And lovely interplay from the Japanese. And Naganuma, weaving his way through, goes down. And the referee, Timothy Ford, is not impressed. Naganuma slicing his way through. I'd rather think he was looking for it. Minimal contact, if any, from Esteban Gonzalez there, and you saw him wagging his finger. But still, Costa Rica trying to build out of the back. High pressure being applied from the Japanese. Atsushi Uchiyama, who celebrated his 58th birthday on match day 1 on Wednesday, said that we like our sides to play compact. And if you take a look at the lines, you can see that there's only about 30 yards separating the forwards from the center backs. So very hard for this Costa Rica side to play through. Zapata's found a little pocket of space, and Juarez helps it on to Alfaro. Over to the far side. This is better from Costa Rica. But Noda gets there and guides it back to his keeper, Yamaguchi, the only foreign-based player on this Japan U-19 side. This one too far, and Yamaguchi will let it go out for a goal kick. The 19-year-old plays with Lorient's under-21s in France. He was born in Paris, Yamaguchi, but moved to Japan at the age of 1 and lived there till he was 16 when he went back to France. The keeper speaks Japanese, French, and English. And it will be a goal kick for the Lorient keeper. Gives it right back to Costa Rica. Juarez. Esteban Gonzalez came in as a second-half sub in the 2-0 loss against the U.S. Headed away by Noda. Ichimaru. Nifty little back heel. It's a beautiful ball threaded through. Barrientos is beaten. And good work by Iwasaki to keep it in. Ichimaru was making the run into the channel. It's a tough ball to get to, but his first touch let him down. And well shielded by Noda, not allowing Moises to get to it. And this is Masis. Morales on the overlap. Espinosa. Villegas dispossessed. And Zapata thought that he had taken an arm to the face. Referee letting him play there, though. As that was a great ball, looking for Takagi, just landed in front of him, still able to get a foot in and poke it past Barrientos, but unable to direct it goalward. As it's been all Japan inside the first 10 minutes. And they had a 1-0 lead after just a little over a minute as Barrientos punched a corner out to the top of the box, and Naganuma was there to smash back home. Perfect technique on the full volley from Yoichi Naganuma, the 19-year-old who plays for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Kojima with the free kick. Ichimaru. Good. And it's going to be another corner kick for Japan, their second of the game. And we all remember what they did with their first one. Same setup. Naganuma camped out at the top of the box. 4 players getting ready to crash in, and the referee talking to the one trying to interfere with the keeper. Ichimaru's corner. Back post. Headed across, back into the danger area. And a flick on would have been better there. And now Costa Rica looking to hit on the break. Masis in a foot race with Kubota. And good defending from Kubota to win the goal kick for Japan. And they say textbook one-on-one defending. What they're talking about is exactly what Kubota did there. He didn't watch Masis's body. Masis moving his hips, feigning, dropping his shoulder, trying to get Kubota to bite. But Kubota only watched the ball and in the end was able to poke it off Masis for the goal kick. And Louis Yamaguchi taking his time. Now launches it forward. Loria has time to bring it down. It's quickly closed down. And the high pressure from Japan allows them to win it back in the center circle. And the foul will go against Vargas. Take a look, and it comes right here as Vargas coming back, and definitely Stud showing in a little bit over the ball. I think the referee doing the right thing. Didn't come in high enough to warrant a card, and definitely since it's early on, Timothy Ford smartly keeping his cards in his pocket. Last game with Costa Rica had 10 yellow cards between them and the U.S. 5 of them going to each team. Floated forward. Ichimaru won it at the second attempt. Loria. Masis. Excellent cover and support from the Japanese defenders. The outlet ball leaving something to be desired, but Japan win it back and sprayed forward. Something Japan worked on in training was playing 2 or 3 quick balls in the back after it came to them, and then finding the outlet player. Kojima with the throw-in. Ichimaru latches onto the loose ball. Was clipped into the corner, nobody making a run. And Morales is back to mop up. Leaves it off for Vargas. Near side for Kevin Espinosa. Almost put Gonzalez into a bit of an awkward situation. And Japan, high pressure paying off. Is this the second goal for the Japanese? It is, you know. A giveaway in the back. And the Blue Samurai put Costa Rica to the sword once again. 2-0 inside 15 minutes. Costa Rica paper trying to dribble it out of the back, and it's Naganuma getting his brace. As cool as you'd like. Well, you have to like the commitment from Costa Rica to trying to build out of the back, but you can't get caught in possession there, especially off the dribble. As Naganuma dispossessed Alfaro, walked in, picked up his head, saw the keeper cheating over and beat Barrientos at his near post.
Goal scored for Japan in the 15th minute by number 21, Yoichi Naganuma.
Headed away by Zapata. Takagi has Naganuma in support. Takagi goes at it alone, somehow is able to fight his way through, and his shots charged down. Helped onto the far side by Kubota. Sent back into the mix. Oh, and it's another dangerous header, but this time Barrientos will take. Nervous moments at the back for Costa Rica. Zapata fighting for it. And ushered out for a goal kick. Question is the ref going to call the foul that the assistant referee flags for? Or is he just going to say, let him take the goal kick? They're going to make Yamaguchi come out and take this one way out of his box. Almost works out better for Costa Rica if you had to pick one of the two options. Still a long way to go in this one. 2-0 in the 18th minute in favor of Japan, courtesy of goals in the 2nd and 15th minute from Naganuma. But if Japan do go on to get all 3 points, they will have 4, and it will put real pressure on the U.S. heading into their match with Panama tonight. And it could very well set up a final day showdown with the U.S. to see who takes this U-20 NTC Invitational, depending on how the U.S. does. Costa Rica have been poking and prodding at this back line, but have yet to really create a chance of any note. First opportunity, but blazed well over the goal. You wonder how long Japan can keep up the high pressure at such a ferocious rate. Well, so far, all Yamaguchi has had to do is take goal kicks. Iwasaki. Ichimura conducting the orchestra for the Japanese. That's a perfectly weighted ball for Kojima. Kojima sweeps up after he almost got in trouble in possession. Kojima skips past Zapata but can't get by Vargas. Andres Vargas, who plays for Carmelita, came in the 83rd minute against the USA for Roberto Cordova, who went down with a knee injury, had to be carried off. Cordova sat out the first of 2 trainings for Costa Rica yesterday with an ice pack on his knee. Costa Rica did mostly regenerative work in the morning before having a proper training session in the afternoon. It's a great moment in training yesterday as Costa Rica finished the morning session with everybody had a ball at the top of the box and they were shooting one by one. Then they had their equipment manager Dixon go in goal, but instead of going one by one, all of a sudden everybody went up and shot at the same time. Really hilarious to watch. So there's a great team spirit in this Costa Rican camp. And they're going to need that spirit here as they're starting to grow back into this match. But Japan might hit him on the counter. Not if Gonzalez has anything to say about it. Juarez. Vargas. Much better from Costa Rica. The more they can pass and move this ball and make Japan work, the more space will open up in between the lines. But it's Takagi into the channel looking for Iwasaki. And Gonzalez blaming the field for that one. Looks like he got his foot stuck in a divot. Gloria into the channel. Villegas is there, but so is Yamaguchi. Beats him to the punch. Gloria. Tried to push it on for Macis. Had Macis been making that run forward, he would have had a chance at the top of the box. Instead, it's Japan going the other way. Space out wide. Naganuma. He's looking for his hat trick. Won't be his third goal, but it will be the third corner kick of the game for Japan. So we're at the midway point of this first half. 2-0 Japan leads. Open the scoring in the second minute off a corner kick as Barrientos punched right to the top of the box where Naganuma was stationed, and he hammered it back with considerable interest. And then Naganuma scored again in the 15th minute as he dispossessed the defender, walked in and beat Barrientos at his near post. And smart play from the Japanese. That one player was coming back from an offside position, so he left the ball, and the other runner got on the end of it, but couldn't keep it in bounds, so it's going to be a goal kick for Costa Rica. Juarez. Zapata checks into the pocket of space. Macis. Marcelo Herrera pleading with his side to move the ball quicker. And Espinosa just pops that one up into midair. Gloria spins. And Macis tried to return it to him. Zapata. Well, Costa Rica have had some opportunities for a few moves, but their passing has been just a bit off kilter. Every time it seems something on, the pass is just about a couple inches too far to the left or the right or behind the player. And you see it there as that move peters out with the ball being popped up rather than play defeat. And instead, it's guided back to Yamaguchi in the 25th minute. Kojima Tried to slide it through for the run of Iwasaki. Loria. Another one of the Saprissa contingent. Loria back on the ball. Interchanges passes with Espinosa. Espinosa invited to run at the cap. Now it's closed down. And he finds Villegas. Loria. Well cut out on the far side. Yanagi wanted to get forward and thought better of it. It's the Japan side that is playing in its fourth tournament of 2016 already. Last October, qualified for the U-19 AFC Championships by going 3-0 in Laos, beating the host Australia and the Philippines in order to make it to the final stages. And since then have been preparing for it ever since by getting these players as much international experience as possible. And that includes an invitational tournament that was held in Bahrain. And that's huge whenever you get to play a tournament in the host country where you're going to play your championships. Because not only are the players going to get used to the conditions and know what to expect, but at the same time, any logistical issues can be worked out. And Japan looking for a third here and trying to pick out the far corner was Mizuki Ichimaru. Couldn't get his shot down though. But another opportunity on the counterattack. Ichimaru, you can see he's chomping at the bit after having to miss the Panama game through injury. Good strength being shown by Villegas. Costa Rica does have Justin Simmons on the bench. Esteban Gonzalez. And the offside flag is up against Zapata. Is the wind starting to pick up here in Carson? And Japan moving the ball around the back. But what you don't see off your screen is a lot of movement from the players up front, looking to get into the pocket of space to receive the entry ball to get Japan going the other way. And you saw it there from Ichimaru getting in, and now they get the ball out wide. And they go forward. Takehiro Yanagi. Forced back. Kojima. As this time it was Kakita checking in. Kojima threads it through. Iwasaki pulls it back. Third goal for Japan. It was another fluid move. Iwasaki the provider, Kakita the goal scorer. All started with Kojima stepping in. Gorgeous ball to get Iwasaki behind the back line of Costa Rica. And then the cross, inch perfect for Kakita, who came flying in and heads it into an empty net. Ichimura steps in. And this time Espinosa able to catch up to Iwasaki. Masis hasn't really had any room to move here. Costa Rica will get some space on the free. As we're on the half-hour mark here in Carson, California, 3-0 in favor of Japan over Costa Rica. Got the scoring started early. Naganuma with the first of his two in the second minute. Was on target again in the 15th. And Kikita adding one just a minute ago with a diving header off of a cross from Iwasaki after he was played behind the Costa Rican back line with a gorgeous through ball from Kojima, the outside right back for Japan. Marcelo Herrera, the head coach for Costa Rica, paying huge respects to Japan before this match, said, "We really have to respect them because this is a team that has plenty of difference makers." And he is certainly seeing that today. Still a lot of credit to his side despite being down 3-0. Haven't changed their style of play, still committed. Ichimaru getting the ball at the top of the box, and then it fell kindly for Takagi and almost got the benefit of the deflection. But the corner kick is swung in from Ichimaru, and the referee not happy with Japanese handbags in the box. Chance for a breather for this beleaguered Costa Rican defense. Header won by Naganuma. Noda. Yamaguchi has time to pick out. Japan doing an excellent job to move the ball around the back, and what it does is even if you're not going forward but you're passing the ball like that, it gives your players in the midfield and forward line a bit of a rest after they work so hard to win it back for your side. It's the beginning philosophy of Pep Guardiola's high pressure for the Barcelona team that he built, is that once you win possession back after that 5 to 6 seconds, unless you're going straight to goal, the next 3 or 4 passes are for you guys to catch your breath before you go forward. And Japan look to be employing that tactic here to real effect as they have a 3-0 lead inside the final 10 minutes of first half regulation. Talk about the plaudits coming in for this Japanese team even before they faced them. Tab Ramos saying that this is a Japanese side that the U.S. has been watching their results playing against teams all over the world, and he believes they're one of the best teams at the U-20 level right now. There's a hard challenge coming in from Takahiro Yanagi, and it's just a stern talking to from the referee Timothy Ford, who is yet to go to his book. Iwasaki. Takagi has to be careful. He's got a player making a run behind him. Instead weaves his way into the box. Tried to help it onto Kakita, but just in front of him and coming out to mop up is Barrientos. 18-year-old was the hero of last summer's U-17 World Cup for Costa Rica in that second round shootout when they knocked out the tournament favorites, France. France stormed through the group stages and everybody thought they had a real chance to go on and win it. But then Costa Rica were able to knock them out of the tournament. Gloria. Macis. It's a good ball in. But the Japanese deal with it. Best move of the game so far for the Costa Ricans.
If I get water again, keep an eye on it. Keep it. No, I'm good. If I get it again.
Gonzalez unable to keep it in. Throw in the 39th minute for Japan. Good shielding to win the foul from the double goal scorer, Naganuma. Japan breaking their 2-game goal drought in real style with 3 goals in 29 minutes.
Including the hard one earlier. Not there, but that's your chance to set him up where you're panning around and say no more.
Noda gets it back to his keeper. And a thumbs up for the effort on the far side, but Kakita running out of real estate. Noda will be whistled for the foul, so Costa Rica has a chance to get players forward. Juarez. Gonzalez. Over the head of Gloria. And Uminami will shield it out of bounds. Costa Rica doing a much better job to get their shape. Can see the 2 front men chasing behind them are 2 banks of 4 that are much tighter together.
What should we have 1 for?
Yamaguchi bypasses the first 2 lines but can't get it past the third. Takagi's header. One back by Juarez. Gonzalez picks up the loose ball. Plays it for Zapata. Left off for Loria. Into the path of Villegas. Cleared only as far as Morales. Little touch out wide for Vargas. And look at the forward Takita getting back to help out his defense. Villegas. And Japan could be in business here. Good run weaving through. The back line was Iwasaki to make sure he stayed on side. Ichimaru. And now Iwasaki has popped up on the far side. And Ichimaru continues to dictate the pace and rhythm of the attack for Japan in midfield. Takagi tried to clip it into the path of Iwasaki, but he gets the loose ball, Takagi. Ichimaru has time to pick out his pass. Kojima on the overlap. Kakita elects to swing it in. Cleared right back to Ichimaru. And Ichimaru didn't want to hit it on his left, gets it back onto his right. Slides it over for Kakita. Into the channel for Takagi, was looking for the return ball to Kakita. Kojima steps in. Costa Rica finally able to clear their lines, but only as far as Yanagi. Kobura. Takiga has done a great job to step into that little pocket of space and combine in the channels. Pulled into an interesting position from Kojima, but Iwasaki not able to get to it in time. Approaching the 43rd minute, Japan are 3 goals to the good over Costa Rica. A double from Naganuma to open the scoring, followed by a diving header from Kakita. So again, Costa Rica looking for the target man. This time Loria was trying to pick out Zapata. Villegas, Morales. Nice little drag from Assis to keep possession, but that's what I was talking about. The ideas are there, players checking to the ball, getting in the right spots, but the passes being played behind them. You have a feeling that if Costa Rica can find their radar, it'll be a very different game. Had Loria got that ball, he could have attacked from out wide. Ichimaru. Final minute of first half regulation. This is a Japan side that in the first game of the Panda Cup put 5 past Croatia. Have 3 so far here against Costa Rica. A side who has shown their ability, though, to progress as the game goes on. The U.S. were the much better side in the first half against Costa Rica, and even though the U.S. had the better play through the second half as well, Costa Rica improved vastly in that final 45 minutes. You can bet that there are plenty of things Marcelo Herrera is getting set to tell his side at halftime, as there will be the minimum 1 minute of stoppage time. Barrientos. Heavy touch from Assis. Right into the path of Ichimaru.
The referee has added
Iwasaki.
a minimum of 1 minute
Iwasaki!
stoppage time to the first half.
Would have been the perfect way to cap off a dominant first half for the Blue Samurai. Iwasaki set himself up, just trying to curl it into that near post. Beat Barrientos, but beat the post as well. Espinosa. I have the feeling Marcelo Herrera will tell his side that they need to move the ball quicker as they find themselves in a 3-0 hole at halftime. Naganuma opening the scoring a minute and 15 seconds in as a corner came out, and Barrientos elected to punch when he was all alone, and he did right to the top of the box where Naganuma slammed it back home on the volley. And then in the 15th minute, Naganuma dispossessed the defender, walked in and beat Barrientos at his near post, And on the half-hour mark, Takagi played in a beautiful ball for Iwasaki, got behind the Costa Rican back line, and put it back across for Kakita to finish off with a flying header. And after 45 minutes, it's Japan 3, Costa Rica 0. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back with you for the final 45 minutes in Game 1 here on Match Day 2 at the U-20 National Training Center Invitational. Pardo Montenegro coming in for Alejandro Barrientos. Montenegro also out of Sorpresas, just 15 years old. Sequeira, Arboin, Salinas, Marin, and Jose Espinosa are the 5 field players that have come in for Costa Rica. No changes for Japan, who have the 3-0 lead heading into these final 45 minutes. And this is one of the subs, Arboin, off to Sequeira. And Sequeira again. He's a live wire, Sequeira. And he steps inside and tries to thread it through. Naganuma with a heavy touch. And now it's Costa Rica applying the heavy pressure. Marin, Salinas, touched away from Sequeira, and the foul will be called on Arboin. Head coach Marcelo Herrera paying Sequeira a huge, huge compliment. Said he's a very dedicated young man that we've been working with for a long time now. Said he has a really big future ahead of him. And here is the number 11 trying to bring it down. Naganuma wins it this time around, touching it back to Ichimaru. And Japan will look to work it around the back. Kakita gets it out wide. Takagi. Kubota wanted it. Now he's going to take the inside lane, and it opens up the space for Ichimaru. Kubota continued his run. Ichimaru almost found him. Lovely flicked header. And the shot coming in from Takagi perhaps should have put it across goal. So it's going to be a goal kick for the 15-year-old Montenegro. Both teams being directed by legendary head coaches. As Ichimaru steps in, his head coach, Atsushi Uchiyama, had 2 caps for Japan from 1984 to 1985. Spent 10 years in the midfield for Yamaha Motors in the J-League. Over at the other end, Marcelo Herrera, the Argentine, won 7 trophies with Vélez Sarsfield from 1994 through 1997, including the Copa Libertadores and the Intercontinental Cup, beating Milan that year. And then in 1998, he played in MLS with the Miami Fusion. One of the team administrators for Costa Rica telling me, you will not meet a nicer guy than Marcelo Herrera. Said he's like a father figure to these kids. Said he's very detail-oriented, has everything covered. Salinas getting a talking to from the referee. Timothy Ford out of Cal South, excuse me. Arboin, Salinas, Sequeira. Sequeira. Macis makes the run the channel, clips it into a good position, but nobody crashing that back post for Costa Rica. And it's hooked away on the far side. Salinas wins the first corner kick of the game and the tournament for Costa Rica, as the USA conceded no corners against them. Finally, a chance for Costa Rica to swing one into the danger area. And it's Marin. The referee Timothy Ford talking to Salinas again. So Marin to take. Sequeira was trying to flick it on at the near post. Loria wins it at the top of the box. Sent back in, cleared away. Only as far as Loria. And finally Japan able to clear their lines. And it's the running of Iwasaki that wins the ball back for Japan high up the field. But they've been on the back foot for this first 5+ minutes of the second half. The substitutes making a real impact for Costa Rica.
Leading the game, number 7, Aria Zapata. Third substitution, entering the game, number 11, Barlon Sequeira. Leaving the game, number 20.
It's a team that had real intense physical workouts in Costa Rica before coming to the U.S. for this tournament.
Number 3, Arbolin Carmona. Leaving the game, number 4, Luis Pedro Morales. Fifth substitution, entering the game, number 19, Salinas Philip.
You can see much more urgency about Los Ticos.
Sixth substitution, entering the game, number 18, Ricardo Montenegro. Leaving the game, number 1, Alejandro Barrientos.
Macis, full of running to start this second half. Arboin and Naganuma putting in the defensive work. But it will be another throw-in for Costa Rica deep in Japanese territory. And it looks like Arboin's getting ready to launch this one into the box. This game having very much the same feel to the U.S. game, in which the USA pretty much had their way in terms of attacking in the first half, played exactly the way they wanted to. But in the second half, Costa Rica came out much stronger and made it a real battle. And they're doing the same to Japan here to start this second half. Good defending from Yanagi. Kakita chasing. Still going Kakita. Arboin. Salinas. A good fight from Marin. And now you can see the Costa Ricans stepping up a lot quicker, standing in front of white jerseys, not giving them that open option. Kakita brings it down. Ichimaru finally gets a little bit of separation, and now Japan can break. Is Kojima getting forward on the far side? Takehiro Yanagi steps inside. Japan has really been pinned back in their own end and have only gotten forward via that long ball. Just because you pressure high, it doesn't mean you're always going to win the ball up high, but often you'll force that long ball that you'll win in the midfield. And that's what Costa Rica is doing here in the 54th minute. Villegas trying to get on the end of this long ball. Noda is able to clear it away. Marin brings it down. That's a heavy challenge. Oh, you're always in danger when you make yourself as wide as possible like that to shield the ball on the turn of getting clipped, and that's where a player usually, as they're already getting their legs stretched out, will have their leg be further extended, and you see it there as Macis went to ground. Good to see him get up quickly though, Macis. That was an important turn too, because this free kick gives Costa Rica an opportunity to get back into this one. One goal and it would be a whole new ball game. 3 players hovering over it for Costa Rica. 4 in the wall set up by Yamaguchi. The chance goes begging in the end, as it was hit over by Arboin. Now Yamaguchi still hasn't had to make a save. Salinas with a tower. To find a feet of a teammate. Japan still in trouble here though. And another free kick conceded. It's been night and day for Costa Rica between the first half and the first 11 plus minutes to this second half. Can they turn their urgency and enterprise into goals though, Costa Rica? Still have 3 to pull back. 6 players queued up at the top of the box. Whipped in, right at the keeper. First touch for Yamaguchi, who stepped well out of bounds. And the first time he's had the ball, and he's been in a bit of trouble, and now they're going to say the free kick's going to go the other way. Loria asking the referee how. Well, the only thing I can think of is that the Costa Rican player stepped in front of him, forcing him out. Nevertheless, it's a free kick for the man who plays his club ball in France. Every minute's so big for these players. Not only are they trying to come together and gel for a team, but they're also looking to be the best at their position to win a place, not only in the starting 11, but just on the 23-man roster for these championships coming up, respectively, both in Asia and in CONCACAF. So if a player can come in like a Sequeira or like an Arboin and change the complexion of the game, then they're also working to cement their spot in the U-20 Costa Rican national team come the tournament that they'll be hosting in February. This will roll out for a Costa Rican goal kick. Asked Marcelo Herrera if there was a huge advantage for Costa Rica hosting the U-20 CONCACAF championships. And he said it's almost a bit of a double obligation, were his words, because not only do you have that pressure of getting through, but you also have to do it with some style in front of your home fans who are expecting you to go through. Arboin venturing forward once again on this right-hand side. Sakira, and it went off Yanagi last. Oh, the referee's assistant has a much better view than me. Yamaguchi's goal kick. Arboin. Gonzalez. Past the hour mark here in Carson. 3-0 in favor of Japan. But just like that last hurried clearance, they've been on the back foot here against a much changed Costa Rican side that used all 6 of its substitutions at halftime. Kakita, scorer of that third goal for Japan. And he wins a free kick. Good target play from Kakita. Sometimes when your team's in trouble, you get that ball, you just go forward and you hold on to it until you're fouled. Not only does it give your team a breather, but it also gives an opportunity to get your players forward as the first yellow card of the game comes out. As Kojima flights it in, looking for Kakita. Almost found his second header goal of the game. In the end, it was easy for Montenegro. Up next for Costa Rica is going to be an international tournament in Valencia. But for now, trying to chisel their way back into this one. And they're forward again here. 63rd minute. Marin continued his run. Slid out of bounds. Second corner kick of the game for the Costa Ricans. And all the tall trees are up from the back. Arboin Salinas is in there. Alfaro as well. Good movement. Sakira tried to flick it on again. And the clearance is made by Uminami. Japan have been very impressive at this tournament. Really could have put at least 4 past Panama if it weren't for the play of the goalkeeper, Loiza, who was sensational in the Panamanian goal. As this is going to be a foul, and will there be further punishment for Masis? Well, so far, Timothy Ford is more worried about Hiroki Noda. And the conversation between referee Timothy Ford and the Japanese bench was one of the Japanese coaches put his foot up to say that Masis had put his foot up and came in with a high boot. And Timothy Ford bent over to say that Noda leaned in for the header. Well, cases could be made both ways. And so I think he's saying it's because Noda stooped in that Ford isn't going to give a card to Masis. Well, the most important thing in all of that is that Noda's okay. Yanagi's free kick. Kakita's in. Has Naganuma on the overlap. Yanagi, good ball whipped in. And Kakita couldn't direct his header on target. Montenegro plays it quickly. Won't turn 16 until July 9th, Montenegro. Well, it's really been that the big difference for Japan between the first game and the second game is that here they put away their chances. Reminder that coming up after this one, the USA will square off against Panama. Naganuma, reverse ball, and Iwasaki came from an offside position. Alfaro did the right thing, wanting to play quickly, but it was about 5 yards in front of where the offside occurred, so the referee pulling it back. Costa Rica doing a better job here in the second half of stretching the Japanese lines and finding space in between them. When we talk about Sekera being a live wire, he started out on this side. Now he's all the way over on the far side. Really seems to have been giving a free roll in this tournament by Marcelo Herrera. This time, the free kick will go against Sekera. Kakita wins another header, but it rolls tamely right into the arms of Montenegro. Otterboin. And Marin left the starting gates too soon. Japan has 3 players up in between the benches. As Atsushi Uchiyama is getting set to make his first substitutions of the match. And Costa Rica are going to have to wait to take this free kick. Is Watanabe, Kishimoto, and Tomiyasu are getting set to check in. And Ichimaru's day is done. But it's been an excellent start to the tournament for Ichimaru, the man who missed the first game through injury. And off comes Iwasaki. Had the assist on the third goal for Kakita. And Kojima comes off as well. For all their attacking in the first game against Panama for Japan, it was Tomiyasu who was the hero as he cleared a late shot off the line to keep the game at 0-0. And in the end, rescue a point for Japan. Now he has to do some defending here. Oh, and Otterboin really lucky that he got away with that. Ichimaru was coming off, and Otterboin said, hey, go faster. can understand the frustration for the Ticos. But Arboin really lucky to get away with that. So unnecessary. And Kishimoto's first involvement, unable to chase it down on the far side, and it will be a goal kick for the Ticos. Arboin smartly plays out of traffic.
For Japan, entering the game number 5, Takehiro Tomiyasu. Leaving the game number 16, Masaya Kojima. Substitution in the 69th minute for Japan, entering the game number 8, Kuta Watanabe. Leaving the game number 17, Mitsuki Ichimaru. Third substitution in the 69th minute for Japan, entering the game number 13, Takeru Kishimoto. Leaving the game number 20, Yuto Iwasaki.
Arboin dispossessed. Good job to smack it off Arboin and win the corner kick by Yuichi Namaguma. Fifth corner kick of the game for the Blue Samurai. This time no one on the keepers, but 6 players at the top of the box for Japan. Be an in-swinger from the near side. And it doesn't beat the first defender, but it will be another corner kick. Take 2 for the Japanese. Thought about playing it short. Naganuma's coming in. Oh, it wasn't a bad idea, but it didn't work out in the end, and now it's 2-on-2 going the other way. That was a great job by Yanagi to come in and make sure there was no counterattack for Costa Rica, who have a chance to build here, but Japan has everyone behind the ball. And Marin wins the throw-in on the far side. He'll leave it off for Jose Espinosa. Espinosa has seen time with the first team for Berlin FC. As it's hooked away by Uminama. Another chance for Costa Rica to bring the cavalry up from the back for a free kick. Still looking for their first goal of the tournament, Costa Rica. Well, it definitely set up a nervy finale here for Japan. Have the 3-0 lead, but 1 goal, and you feel that Costa Rica would have all the confidence in the world to go on and get the second and make it a grandstand finale. Still have to get the service right, as now a player goes down in the box. And what's the referee going to do here? Japanese players are claiming that there was an elbow. Fourth official David Erbacher telling the Japanese bench that he saw nothing. I think the assistant referee on this near side, Sean Reagan, telling Timothy Ford the same thing, and that's why he just waves play on. Service comes in, and it's headed away. Well, there was definitely something there. And it's going to be a talking to for Dario Alfaro. Alfaro plays for Alajuelense, who usually find themselves in the upper echelons of the Costa Rican table, and often in the CONCACAF Champions League as well. Cleared out by Salinas, but at the expense of the 3rd corner kick of the second half for Japan. 7th of the game. now Salinas, who looked like he took a knock as that ball was played down the line about a minute ago, is now down in the box. And because it's a head injury, Timothy Ford calling the trainers right away. Oh, and now the Costa Rican and Japanese benches are jawing at each other a little bit. So Justin Salinas being tended to. 17-year-old who plays for Limon FC. Meanwhile, over at midfield, Pablo Arboin is changing boots. You can see the training staff applying bandages to Salinas' head and wiping off some blood there as well. So we will definitely have some time added on at the end of this one. And the good news is that Salinas is up and he's sprinting over to the near side so that he can come to the center line and get permission from the referee to come right back on. But you see the bandage above his eye. Marcelo Herrera checking on him, making sure he's absolutely okay to come back in. And because Arboin had to step off too, Costa Rica are down to 9 defending this corner kick, and it skips through their box. Out to Naganuma, looking for his third shot, charged down by Gonzalez. 8th corner kick of the game for the Japanese. As now we're back to 11v11 as both Salinas and Arboin come back in. Japan definitely looking strong in this run-up to the U-19 AFC Championships, which will be held in Bahrain from October 13th through the 30th. Can they get a 4th goal here to make absolutely sure of all 3 points? And once again, the referee has to calm things down in the box. It's gotten a bit chippy here in the second half. Free pass out of the back for Costa Rica. Oh, he had his elbow up, and that's where Salinas got the cut from that challenge from Kikita. Great defending by Watanabe, who plays in Tokyo Verde's youth system. Arboin wants movement. Gets it in the Geyser Marine. Nagi will be whistled for the foul. Been a frustrating day for Massis. Had a goal versus South Africa in the U-17 World Cup last summer. But so far they've been unable to find their first of the tournament here at the U-20 NTC Invitational. As we're on the verge of the final 10 minutes of regulation in Carson. And the first of 2 games here on match day 2. USA and Panama will square off 7 p.m. Pacific kickoff time. And that match can be seen right here on ussoccer.com and US Soccer's YouTube page. Marine service, flicked on by Sequeira. Gonzalez to pump it back in. As helped along by Takagi. Japan will win the free kick here. And the second yellow card of the game is going to be administered by referee Timothy Ford. As Gonzalez came barreling into the back of Kishimoto. Now 7 yellow cards over the 2 games for Costa Rica. And this time it's Kakita who's whistled for the foul as players go up for the ball in the air. We talk about Japan looking in fine feather heading into the tournament in October. Have already played the likes of Brazil and Mexico,
Yellow card
as well as Croatia,
to number 5, Esteban
and the team that will host the U-20 World Cup next summer in Korea. They lost that game 1-0, but if they don't concede here, Japan will have their 3rd straight clean sheet and their 4th in 5 games. Be an excellent defensive run, as that's one of the biggest principles preached by Uchiyama, is a very tight and compact defense. Asked him where he felt Japanese soccer fell on the map at the U-20 level, and he said, technically we're one of the best teams in the world, but we still have to impose our style of soccer to continue to work our way up the ladder. Would love to win the U-19 AFC Championship in October, have never won it. 6 times have been runners-up. However, I think if you offered them one of the top 4 spots without the championship, they would still probably take it, as it means that they'd go through to their first U-20 World Cup since 2007. They were runners-up in 1999. The ball served in, and Sekira clears it away as Kishimoto was lurking just behind him. Watanabe calls the counterattack. Great tackle from Sekira and wins the free kick. And now Sekira getting into it with Takagi. Free kick won by Loria.
Right here's good. Where's that? That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Get out. Back up.
Arboin's free kick in the 84th minute. Just over the head of Sekira. Marin has it stabbed away from him. Salinas is right there to mop up. Cross comes in. Japan have won every aerial battle in their box. Arboin getting forward. It wasn't a bad hit, you know. Just lacking the necessary pace from that distance. '85th minute. And that's just the second save Yamaguchi has had to make this afternoon. Arboin almost showed too much of it to Naganuma. Salinas. Marin slides it inside for Masis. Yanagi forces him out wide. Clip back for Loria. And Watanabe wins the battle of the number 8s. Villegas to lead the attack for Costa Rica. Sekira steps inside. Beautiful reverse ball. The chance is on. And just chipped over the post. A yellow card been issued to to Takehiro Tomiyasu. Not sure for what. Well, correction, it was Noda. But he had to have said something, otherwise it would be a free kick or possibly a penalty for Panama, or for Costa Rica, beg your pardon.
Yellow card issued in the 87th minute to number 3, Noda Hiroki of Japan.
Well, it's been a choppy second half. But you have to credit Costa Rica for the way they came out and upped their game. Japan's defense has stood firm, though, as we're in the final minutes of regulation. And 3 goals inside half an hour has been enough for Japan to do the job so far. Naganuma opening the scoring after 1 minute and 15 seconds with a volley right at the top of the box. Then dispossessed the defender on the far side, came in and beat the keeper's near post on 15 minutes. And then in the 29th minute, Iwasaki got to the end line and crossed it back for Kakita to score with a diving header. Since then, Costa Rica has pressed and harried and gotten the ball forward, but hasn't really created any gilt-edged opportunities where you'd say that should have been a for sure goal. So Japan has shown their ability to play with the ball and without it in this game as Watanabe gets the block. Kishimoto strong in the challenge. And this is Kakita barreling down the near side. And just keeping possession through their number 10, Kubota. Uminami. Silky turn from Kubota. Have to love Masis's chasing, but not the last action from him there. He had chased down 5 different players, and I love that effort from Masis. But then he didn't need to finish through on that challenge. And he rightly goes into the referee's book on the cusp of full time. Frustration more than anything. Masis was doing all the running there and just couldn't get the ball off the feet of the Japanese players. That's how well they've been stroking it around. Takagi dispossessed.
Yellow card issued in the 90th minute to number 10, Kevin Masis of Costa Rica.
Japan racing out to a 3-0 lead inside the first half hour. Controlled the first half. In the second half, Costa Rica has made it a battle, but Japan has held their lines firm.
The referee has added a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage
We will
time
have
to the end of the
3
match.
minutes of stoppage time. Alfaro, well shielded out by Kakita. Japan on the cusp of their third straight clean sheet, going back to the Panda Cup in China, and their fourth clean sheet in 5 games. And now the yellow card's going to come out against Alfaro. Ooh, just kicking out at Kakita. Very lucky that it wasn't a different color. Back post. Kakita unable to keep it from going out for a goal kick. This game in the dying embers, deep in stoppage time. Costa Rica has been better in the second half, but it's all Japan on the scoreboard where it matters most. Looking to win their second tournament in succession,
Yellow card
and they'll
issued
have
in
that
the
chance
90th
going into
minute
their
to number
final day
13,
match against the
Dario
U.S.
Alfaro of Costa Rica.
That will be a 3 p.m. Pacific kickoff time here on USsoccer.com and US Soccer's YouTube page. But a reminder to stay with us is after this one, the USA will face off against Panama. And if the USA can win that one, then they'll go into that match against Japan with 6 points as well. And this 3-0 win will be big because the first tiebreaker, if both teams finish tied on points, will be goals for. So Japan has sent the benchmark. Now it's up to the U.S. to match it here on match day 2. As that will do it. 6 points out of a possible 6 for Japan here at the U-20 NTC Invitational as they dispatch of Costa Rica 3-0 with 3 goals inside the first 30 minutes. Naganuma with a brace, followed by a diving header from Kakita to cap things off. And from there, their defense held firm for their third straight shutout. So Japan goes to the top of the table on 6 points, and the USA and Panama are up next. But for now, I'm Mark Serber signing off here in Carson, where it finishes Japan 3, Costa Rica 0.